Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to Tea Time with the Family. How y'all doing this Sunday? I hope all is well. Yes, it's just me. The family hasn't showed up yet. Looks like everybody is having a busy Sunday. But when you join in, just go ahead and hit me up in the comments and we can go ahead and get started. And as they get unbusy, they'll join in the conversation. Make sure you like, comment, and share. And most importantly, join the conversation. But I'm gonna give y'all a few minutes to get here. I'm gonna finish setting up while I give y'all those few minutes. Today, the topic is overall health, and we're gonna, if we have the time, we will talk about the effects of lack of self knowledge. So this is gonna be a good conversation. So I'm gonna give y'all a few minutes to get here and give me a few minutes to set up, and then we'll have the conversation. Hey, Tracy Autry, thank you for joining in. I'm gonna give people another few minutes to get here. When you get here, don't forget to comment, let me know you're here, and then we're gonna start the conversation. If you have any general questions about the topics, which are health and lack of self-knowledge, go ahead and put them in the comments and we'll go ahead and answer those questions. But I'm gonna give y'all another minute or so to get here. There we go. We are now set up. So I'm assuming y'all don't have any questions. So I was waiting for my people to get here so we can have this discussion. So for those of you who are here, let's go ahead and have this discussion. So from what I've learned and what I've heard from certain people is that our health and different organ functions affect how we feel and how we interact with people and how we respond to people. And so I was told when I was working with my personal trainer that different organs were related to different things. So, in like, for instance, if you're having issues with your liver, that means you probably have some anger issues, or vice versa. I'm not going to say it's cause and effect, that you're angry because you have liver issues, or you have liver issues because you're angry. I'm not going to say that it's causal, but I'm going to say that there's a relationship between the two. And the same thing with your lungs. If you're having, issues with sadness or issues with your lungs, they're kind of closely related. And the same thing with reproductive organs. If you're having issues with guilt, you're probably having issues with your reproductive system. So tell me your thoughts about that. I know me personally, because I do have issues with my reproductive system. So I do find I do deal with a lot of guilt issues. So what are your thoughts about that? I'm actually getting better with giving y'all time to comment. But yes, for me, I'm sorry. People blowing up my phone like they know what time it is on a Sunday. Crazy people. I'm so sorry. But anyway, so for me, I know when you're dealing with a lot of anger, that's a lot of stress. And I know it adds to other issues like high blood pressure, diabetes, and so forth and so forth. So we have to address those things. For those of y'all who do not know me, know that I do a holistic thing, and I believe that everything is connected. And when everything is connected, you cannot work on one area and not the other. It all has to, you have to work on every area. And I don't want to say equally, but every area needs some attention in some form or fashion. So when we're talking about overall health, we can't just be talking about working out and going to the gym. We can't just be talking about, oh, we need to change how we eat. We need to do, some special diet. We need to be looking at it holistically. We need to look at spirituality. We need to look at how we are controlling ourselves and our emotions and how we respond to people, how we're treating the environment. Because if you think about it, how we treat the environment, don't forget that we get oxygen and other things from the environment. We get food from the environment. And for those of you who eat meat, that's what the animals eat. They eat from the environment. And if we're always causing detriment to the environment, what do you think we're doing to ourselves? Do I have some tea that's cool? Because y'all not ready for this conversation. Oh, it don't seem hot. So we about to get this tea together. We about to get this tea together. I done got the little juices on my little book. Hey, Marcus, how are you? So today we're talking about overall health. And right now we're talking about overall health, and eventually we're going to start talking about self-knowledge. And what we're saying, we're talking holistically, that how we need to treat ourselves and everything around us, because we are interconnected with everything. And so when you're dealing with your emotions and you're lashing out and you're sad and you're crying, that causes certain reactions within your body. As we talked about on the last Tea Time with the Family, we was talking about fear and how it's used as a fight or flight. Our fight or flight begins to act, which causes stress and endorphins and other hormones to be released. And if we're constantly in that state, then it causes us to become sick with ulcers or diabetes or high blood pressure. Is this your kind of tea? I mean, it could be got a little spice in it. And so it begins to affect you overall. It begins to, your emotions begin to affect your overall health. Even drinking, over drinking. And when I say drinking, I'm talking about alcohol. Because alcohol, even wine, even though we are told that wine is good for us, a good glass of wine after a long day, woo-wee, or even a nice shot of rum, or whatever the case may be, your choice of drink is very delicious. It hits differently after a long day at work, after dealing with people stressing you out. Oh my God. But alcohol in itself dries out your organs. And if you're already not drinking enough water, how do you think that's going to affect your body? And if your body's not functioning right, how do you think that's going to affect your mood? You think you're going to be more angry, more tired? Think you're going to be more negative, more positive? Let me try my tea and see if my tea is cool enough. Tastes good to me. So we need to hit this when we're talking about overall health. We need to hit it in many different ways. And it even comes to work, because some of us are overworking, which is causing us stress, which is causing us more emotions, which is affecting relationships, which turn around is affecting us again. So it's a big vicious cycle. And for those of you who are out there trying to start your own business, you still need to make sure that you have balance. And I know many of y'all are out here going hard. And I know people like Grant Cardone is like, you need to go the 10 plus. And I'm all for it. But at the same time, if you don't take the time to take care of yourself, even Grant Cardone says, hey, I at least go work out. Make sure I get a decent meal, because it's all effective. You cannot give your best if your overall health is trash. You can't go out and make the millions of money that you want to make if your lifestyle is trash. You can't hustle and live your best life if your lifestyle is horrible. You're going to be tired, for one. You're going to be in the hospital, in and out the hospital. You're going to be on medications, which has its own side effects. You're going to be limited to the amount of stuff you can do a day, because you got to go get sleep. You got to go do this. You got to go do that. And so for me, I'm not really a drinker like that. But what I have learned is when I do drink, that recovery time is a beast. And so while I'm here in Barbados, I'm not gonna lie, we have a good time out here. And the thing is that we party a lot here in Barbados. The Bajans love to party. But since I started my own business, I cannot drink like I used to, because that day of recovery, that day of recovery, trying to, shake my head off after, binge drinking the day before. Oh my gosh, that is wasted. I lost a whole day of money. Not even know how my organs are trying to recover from that day of just binge drinking and partying, and whatever the case may be. So I personally had to cut back on drinking just because of that, because it's gonna cut into my money. We have one of the family members in the house. Let's go ahead and welcome Alex.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. How are you doing today?
Okay, I apologize. I forgot we're on different time zones. So I'm
Ah.
thinking 3 o'clock. I'm gonna get on in an hour. Then I seen your message. I said, "Oh wait, I'm late." I apologize.
No worries, no worries. I keep forgetting. I forgot that we're on different time zones too. So I try to make sure that I put it out, but I'm sorry. We'll work it out. But you go ahead and tell the people about yourself real quick for those who just now tuning in.
Okay. Kids, man. All right, so my name is Alex. I was in the army. I got out the army. And since then I've been doing a lot of entrepreneur stuff, and that was been my main focus. And then start teaching other people the things that I've learned. So I'm not gonna say I know it all or anywhere near all of it, but as I learn things, I like to put it out there for people to try to help everybody like make a come up. And that's pretty much the gist of what I actually do. Um, but yeah, so it's rare that I'm on camera actually recorded, but this is different for me. So, but I'm with it.
Well, thank you for joining. We appreciate it. And so right now we're talking about overall health and how that is affecting the overall system. As you know me, I like to everything is connected for me. And you can't just deal with one thing. So if you're having issues with money, it may be because you're having issues with your health or having issues with relationships or whatever the case may be, because everything is connected. Even the environment, you start trashing the environment because that's where we get oxygen and food from. You trashing the environment, you're affecting yourself and your overall health. And so one of the things that one of my what you call it, personal trainers told me is that sometimes your organs are related to some of the emotions that you're feeling. So, for example, you are dealing with anger issues because you might have liver issues, or vice versa. Um, you're having liver issues, so you're a little bit more irritable or more angry. Same thing with your lungs. If you're having issues with your lungs, you might be a little bit more sad. And even with your reproductive system, you might have a little bit more guilt, or if you're dealing with more guilt, you might have issues with your reproductive system. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Um, I mean, I can see that, because, for example, when I be going to my therapist, he was talking about, well, even before I was going to him, when I was going to the VA, they would say, well, the reason why you have little anger spikes throughout the day is because you're not getting enough sleep. You know what I'm saying? So because you're not getting enough sleep, you're more irritable and things like that. But that comes from when I was in the army, I used to practice. They say you're only required 4 hours of sleep. So what I would do Monday through Thursday is I would only get 4 hours of sleep. I would make sure it's 4 hours only, and then I was sleeping on the weekends and stuff like that. But Monday through Thursday, I would do 4 hours, and I got so used to it, So even when I get out, it's just like, So yeah, I might be a little irritable every now and then. It's possible. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. But I can see how like other problems affect other parts of the body. It's just like a nerve, for example. A nerve in your leg might affect something in your back. So I can see that. And then the other thing too is you want to. What's the old saying? You don't want to just focus on things as far as when it comes to money, making money, and not take care of your health, because you may make the money, but be too unhealthy to actually enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something to think about.
Yep. No, I agree. And even to go back to you're not sleeping enough and you're more angry, that can affect your money as well because you're sleeping more on the weekend. Now, you're wasting money, or you're probably even more irritable when you're dealing with your customers or dealing with other business partners, and nobody want to deal with you because you're having those anger outbursts.
Yeah. It's definitely gonna mess up your money, because you can't keep working. So you can't keep working if you're sick. That's why, like, for example, where was I reading? man, it was some business where the dude was working, then he got sick, and then other people had to take over for him, and the business doesn't run as smooth.
Mm.
Well, if you take care of your health, then you won't get sick. Therefore, you can continue to actually work your business. I mean, that's just one avenue of a business, but you know, other thing, if you got family, you want to go out and enjoy life, play with your kids and stuff like that, you want to be healthy. So it's just like your health is important. It's not just physical health, mental health too. So like mentally, if you're messed up, you're not going to actually enjoy the things that's going on.
Ah,
Physically, if you're messed up, you can't enjoy it either. So spiritually, you're gonna be a little shaky. It's everything comes into play. That's the best way to explain it. Everything has to come into play as one. A lot of times people are unbalanced. So they may be strong in one area and weak in the other area. But I mean, that's good sometimes, but you got to eventually bring it all back together and balance it out for to actually live life. You know. So yes.
yeah, no, I totally agree, and that's what I was telling them earlier, that it goes full circle, and you can't just focus on one thing and not on the other thing, because again, like you said, it'll be unbalanced, and then you're not going to be as productive as you could be, because you're lacking in the area. And I brought up the book about Grant Cardone, Sell or Be Sold, I think is the title of it. How he was like, go 10 times forward, you got to go hard, you got to go hard. But and I get that, but even he say, hey, you at least got to get good sleep, and you at least got to get a workout in, and get some healthy food in there. So although he's telling you to go hard, he's like, hey, it's still full circle. You still got to work on these other areas as well.
Yeah. Well, all right. So with Grant Cardone, he's he's just different. You know what I'm saying? He does it nonstop. But and Gary Vee too. He's another one. But the thing is, like that's when you're unbalanced, right? When you're unbalanced. So say your goal is I need to make X amount of money by X in a month or so. So you're going to be unbalanced because your main focus is I need to do this. Boom, boom, boom. So that's your focus. But it's not healthy to stay on that focus for forever. You know what I'm saying? Eventually you gotta come back down and then balance it back out with everything. So I get it, that you get into your grind mode, grind real hard, but then you gotta sit back and focus. And this is vice versa too, because some people they're so focused on, oh, I love this and love that and all that, which is cool. It's cool too, but you still got other responsibilities too. So you can't just focus on the one thing. I mean, it's cool right then and there, but you also got bills to pay. So you're gonna have to focus on that. Mentally, you also got to focus on that. So sometimes you just focus on the emotional, you got other things that you got to focus on too. So it's okay to be somewhat unbalanced, but like I said, you got to come back. Grant Cardone, he's just he's focused. But I think that's how their dynamic is set up. Him, his wife, even with his kids. There's one where he talk about with the kids, and they get up extra early just so they can have that extra time to spend with his kids. So they may get up earlier. Their schedule's gonna be a little bit different, just so he can spend time. But that's him trying to balance everything out. You see, but the key is balance. If you can balance, you can balance. If you're a little bit not focused at that time, well, not balanced at that time, and you're focused on something specific, focus on the but understand eventually you got to come back. And it could be hard because there's times where, shoot, I'll be up 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'll be wide awake. Like, I'm not even worried about sleep or thinking about anything. I'm just going, but, I come back off of it over time.
No, I totally agree with that. And when I talk to people about balance, I don't mean like, 50-50 or, 4 quarters all the way around, because it's going to be some days it's more business and some days it's more family and some months it's more this. But like you said, you have to be able to come back around and to say, I've been slacking in these areas. Now I have to pick those things up. And if you fail to do that, that can definitely affect your family, definitely affect your relationship, your marriage, or whatever it is that you have, because they're like, hey, You focus on money, you focus on bills, but what about us? We here, we want some attention. Hello.
Yeah, man, I get that all the time. Oh, all you worry about is money. That's all you focus on. I'm like that, man. Leave me alone. Oh, leave me alone, man. I'm trying to be rich.
No, and
If
I
I
get
get it.
I get it because I'm the same way, but at the same time, I think it might have been 50 book that I was reading that he was saying, at the end of the day, you want to be able to have somebody come and share that with. You want to be able to, after a long day, to come home and be like, yeah, babe, this is what it was. You have your zone, you have somebody to share all your hard work with instead of just coming home to a house alone. So it is good to find that balance overall, and it goes back to regular health. You got to be healthy enough to be able to endure all of that to even keep that balance. But I also wanted to circle back to what you were saying about being able to be present. So you have to be able to be present as well, like mentally. Like just because you're there with your family, don't mean you're psychologically or mentally there. You know, and so that mental health and that psychological health, you need to be able to be present in the moment to even enjoy that. And if your mental health is not there, if you're depressed or sad or angry all the time, then you're not going to be able to enjoy the present. You're not going to be able to enjoy your family. You're not going to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Yeah, like so. All right, so mental health is a big thing, because in the black community specifically, we're just now starting to really get and tap into it more. So for us, we're still playing catch up, and a lot of people don't understand or don't know how to express it. You know what I'm saying, or how to seek help and things like that. Me included. Because for some time I'm just like, why I need to go to this therapist for? Why I need to go talk to this person? I'm like, why? What are they going to tell me that I don't already know? You know what I'm saying? But once I realized the actual job isn't necessarily to tell me not what I don't know, but to open it up and how to explain, like, help me to see a bigger picture, change the way that I actually think and look at certain situations. So for example, like when I go out, what I'm saying, I'm still a little bit like I watch people, But that's not just military thing. That's because really look at my background. I was gang banging back in the day. I watch everybody because you don't know who's going to try to stab you up or. So I watch people a lot. You know what I'm saying? But if you really think about it, when you're every day walking around, do you really need to do that? Mostly people don't know you. The gangs ain't as crazy as they were back then. So it's just like, just live your life. You know what I'm saying? But that's a mental thing. You can't really enjoy being out if you're constantly watching everybody. If your main focus is everybody else going on, what's going on around you, you can't really focus and just enjoy things. You take your kid to the park, you over here watching everybody in the park, you're not even paying attention to your kid anymore. Now your kid is like, oh, what's going on? Now they start to feel somewhat neglected. So but even to this day, I still have to work on that consciously because naturally that's what I do. I was talking earlier, I was talking about like I go to the corner store, I got robbed for $3 one time. $3. It's $3 in the hood. Ooh, you want my $3? Just $3. What are you gonna do with this? But that's why we gotta watch it. That's why we got to watch people like that. But I'm older now. Who does that? I mean, there's still some people that do that, but it's how likely is it to happen? That's what my therapist keeps saying. It could happen, but how likely is it to happen? You know what I'm saying? So if you don't mentally just like relax and calm down the way, look at the bigger picture, or just go get help, mentally you're gonna be messed up because you're always gonna be vigilant, always gonna be nervous, always gonna be paranoid, always gonna have panic attacks. These are things that's gonna happen. So you're not gonna even be in the right place. It's gonna cause depression. So you're not gonna be in the right place mentally to actually enjoy things when it actually presents itself. So that's just something to think about, you know.
Facts. So for me to help me get in the moment, because for a long time I was never in the moment, and so I was always thinking what I could be doing, you know, or I was on my phone talking to people who wasn't like around me, or I was thinking about the job, you know, or what I had to do tomorrow. I was just always thinking about something instead of, you know, focus on the people that were there with me. And so what I had to start doing is taking a step back to see who was there with me. Like, okay, this is this person, this is this person, and this is what we're doing. I had to physically take, not physically, but mentally take note of what is going on around me. And then I have to ask myself, you know, how do I feel about, you know, this situation, what's going on? And that helped me to be more in the moment, and it helped me to enjoy the people that I have around me. So what are some things that helped you stay in the moment?
Um, shoot, I don't even know, man. Well, I don't know, because that's like one of the things that I'm actually working on, you know, being in the moment. But really, for me, it's like tomorrow's not promised, you know what I'm saying? So the way I look at it is just do what you're gonna do today, because you don't know. Tomorrow you may not be here. Just do it. And that just keeps me like right there in that moment to like understand, be grateful for what's happening right now versus worrying about what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Mm.
You know, so like that's something I got to work on, because emotionally I'm not really an emotional type person.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when I be asking me, so what makes you happy? You know, I don't know. I just make happy. I make money. That makes me happy. I don't really care for the money itself, but I like the making it. You know what I'm saying? I like the whole task all the way up to me. After I make it, it's like, oh, okay. Put that to the side. Let me go make some more. You know what I'm saying? I like that. You know, I like my bank account to look nice. You know, that makes me happy. You know, this is the truth. So they be asking me, these are the things I'll be explaining. I'm like, I don't really know, you know? So it's like in that moment, is just be grateful for everything that you have right now. So part of my meditation in the morning is I think about all the things that I'm grateful for. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful just to be alive, grateful for the people around me, grateful that nobody's sick around me, and things like that. You know, and that keeps me grounded, you know. So a lot of people may say I be cocky and arrogant. Yeah, I can see why they would say that, but it really ain't that. It's more about being grateful for what you actually have and knowing what you have and appreciate, versus just oh being flashy. Oh, I got this over you. I'm better than you because of this, that, and the third. This, you know what I'm saying? So it's just about being grateful. As long as you start thinking about all the things you're grateful for, like the whole everything around you will change. Like just that alone will change everything around you, because you're not worrying about what you don't have. You're grateful for what you do have, and that'll put you. And in that moment, like everything will change.
Nope, I totally agree. And so in the Army, for those of you who are Army people out there, the thing that we used to do is called hunt the good stuff. And it took me a while to really appreciate hunt the good stuff. And we did it when I was in one of my training courses. And my instructor was every morning before we started class, we had to hunt the good stuff. And I didn't appreciate it. And what you do when you do that is from the time that you left class yesterday and the time that you got in that morning, what was something that was good that happened to you? Despite anything bad that happened, despite, you know, how you feel in that moment, tell me something good that happened to you. And I didn't appreciate it until, you know, months later. I was like, when you start focusing on good starts, you know, surrounding you, good starts coming to you. It's like a magnet or whatever. So when you start focusing on good and being in the moment and the things that you have and start appreciating it, you know, abundance starts coming to you, because you're not, oh my God, and freaking out and like, oh my God, I don't have this, and you know, getting all frantic or being all negative. And so when you focus on that positive, on the good, and it reminds me of one of my favorite Bible scriptures, Philippians 4:8, when it says, focus on things that are perfect, things that are good, things that are pure. When you focus on positive stuff, positive comes to you. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's the law of attraction. You know what I'm saying? You are what you attract. You know what I'm saying? So if you're focused on whatever it is you're focused on, you'll eventually start attracting it. You know, and that's why a lot of people, my best advice was like social media is it's okay, but if it forces you to focus on a lot of the negative that's going on in the world. You know, so that's why a lot of books will tell you when you do a mental cleanse to get off the social media, turn off the news, don't listen to the radio, only read positive books and things like that because you're focusing on that positivity, so you could just start attracting the positivity to you. You know, if you start focusing on negativity, then only negative things are going to start happening. So it's like, was that me? Was that? So it's like, yeah. So it's like, how to explain? Like, here, let me just use this one. If you want, as a kid, anytime I wanted something, I always got it. You know, no matter how poor we were, it didn't matter. Everything I wanted, I always got. And so as an adult, I didn't understand the concept. So I started really thinking about how did that happen? Well, it's because I was focused on it. I said, well, I want this new Sega Genesis when it comes out. I'm going to get a Sega Genesis. I don't care how poor, because you got to understand, like, for me, that's big because the first of the month was like a holiday for us. When they get that welfare check, that's the only time we get to go to McDonald's or Burger King. You know what I'm saying? To get some. So we didn't really have money like that, but somehow every time I really wanted something, I always got it. And it's because my focus was on it. Yeah, my parents might say no, but because I focused on it, people call it the universe, people call it God, whatever you want to call it, made it happen. You know what I'm saying? Made it present itself. So, and that's one of the things that, like, and then as an adult, if you understand that concept, if you focus on it, just focus. This is, this is what you want. This is what's going to happen. It'll start happening. If you allow negative things to get into your mind and start influencing how you think, then negative things will start happening to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate that saying, death comes in threes. Well, it only comes in threes because you're focused on who's going to die next. You know, all of y'all focus on who's going to die next, and then somebody dies. And you're like, well, I told you it was going to happen. Yeah, because you put that energy out there. You know, you might be that one on that three. So, so like, if you try to focus on only positive things will start happening. You know, because that's where your mind, you're always looking for the good, and the positive will start happening. You know, people, it kills me when, from a biblical perspective, when something bad happens, be like, oh, the devil is working. Is it really the devil, or is it God testing you? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Is it God testing you? Why does the devil have to get credit for something? It could be just a test. Well, because you start your mind automatic think, oh, there's something bad happened. It might not even really be bad. It's probably put there to teach you something. You know, so now you over here, oh, something bad happened. Oh, the devil's, is it really? You know, so that's just something to think about, you know.
No, and you're absolutely right. And sometimes we have our intuition, or, some people call it the Holy Spirit, or whatever you call it. You have that little voice that say, go left, and you be like, nah, I don't really want to go left. I'm gonna go right. And then something bad happens. It's because you didn't listen. It was based on the decision that you made. They tried to protect you. They tried to direct you, but the decision you made ain't had nothing to do with the devil. You know what I'm saying? You didn't listen. Or you can say that God was trying to teach you how to listen to him, or listen to your intuition, or whatever your beliefs are. It ain't always, negative is not always bad, but so often than not, we look at it as a bad thing. Same thing as failures. Failures are lessons, mm-hmm. But we look at it as a bad thing, and we're so afraid of failing that we do not do what we need to do.
Yeah.
And in addition, to go back to what you said, I always tell people when they're starting something new, it's one decision at a time. You may not be able to change your whole diet in one sitting, or you may not be able to start this whole new workout regime, in 1 week, or whatever the case may be. But it's one decision at a time. It's one decision. No, I'm not going to have this drink during lunch. It's one decision. I'm going to have a salad, for dinner. It's one decision. I'm not going to eat before 12. Whatever the case may be, it's one decision. And the more decisions that you make towards your goal, the more likely you'll be able to meet that goal. But we get so overwhelmed, with trying to accomplish everything at one time that we don't take the time to just say, "Hey, I'm human. It's okay. I don't have to accomplish everything in one sitting. Let's just breathe. Let's just work through it. And, if I fail or whatever the case may be, if I get it wrong, it's okay." And it even goes back to even picking your major in college. People are like, "Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do." Pick something, try something. You never know. You might even like it. If you don't, pick something else. It's okay. But we get so caught up in, this target, and we got to go do this and we got to do that, that we miss a whole thing that we could do, and we end up putting ourselves in a box and we limit ourselves.
Yeah, like so I put together this what's it? So for people that want to actually that's trying to lose weight, and it's not just for that, but this one because I'm doing the whole fitness thing right now. So inside of there is talking about habit. The first part is the habit. When a lot of people jump on these diets or whatever, but it's more about building a healthy habit. So inside of there, the first thing is pretty much teaching you is pick one thing and change that about your diet. Don't necessarily change everything in the beginning. Pick one thing, get used to it. So it might be, okay, for dinner, I'm gonna add more vegetables to my dinner this week. The next week might be, hey, I'm gonna add more protein to it or something like that. Or hey, I'm gonna limit my portion size. Some people don't even eat 3 meals a day. So they may be like, well, okay, well, I'm gonna add a third meal in this week. And you just do that one thing and you try to do it at least 6 days out of the week. You don't just go in there and say, oh, today I'm going to change my diet completely, because what's going to happen is you're going to revert back to what you know, which is just not going to work. So you pick one thing at a time and you change it slowly until you get that habit formed, and then at the end of it, you'll have lifelong habits pretty much. So, and that's the same thing with starting a business. You do one thing at a time. Don't try to, okay, today I'm gonna do this, and this. And sometimes even me, like I'll write it all out. I'm like, okay, I'm about to try to accomplish all of this. But then there's something called time blocking. So I had to change it around and start time blocking, which is pretty much you take like 90 minutes, for example. You take 90 minutes and you say, for 90 minutes, this is all I'm focused on. And you try to accomplish as much as you can. And that night, after that 90 minutes is up, you're done. You don't touch it again. You time block, boom, you do it. You did what you was going to do. But for 90 minutes, that's all you're doing. It's called time blocking. So you can accomplish a lot of things doing that throughout the day. All right, I'm going to time block this amount of time, do this, and this. All right, I'm going to chill out a little bit. Then I'm going to set another 90 minutes later on in the day, do this, and this. But the point is, you time block it. So therefore, you're not just all day, just constantly boom, boom, boom. Because you'll burn yourself out. So, and that's with anything. That's not just like business. That's not just fitness. That's with anything. If you try to do too much at one time, you will burn yourself out. So you got to like pace yourself. It's like running that 2 miles on that PT test. You don't just go out there full sprint. You go out there full sprint, you're going to burn yourself out. You got to pace yourself.
That's so true. I'm going to ask the audience if y'all have any questions on health before we move on to the next subject. But what you said something. Well, I'm going to go back to the whole time block thing because I never heard of it, but that's exactly what I do. And so I'm like, for 50 minutes, this is what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to go walk the dog. And that keeps me from sitting down, because I'm behind the computer all the time. And so that keeps me from sitting down for so long and allows me to be more active, allows me to go outside because like you said, I'll sit up in this house all day, and grind out stuff. But when I'm able to have an actual full schedule to say, okay, from this time, this is what I'm going to do. From this time to this time, this is what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to get up and go do X, Y, Z. and that allows me to get more accomplished. And I didn't realize that until I started actually doing it. I read an article somewhere that some of the successful ladies, they would have, I think it was like 2 or 3 main goals that they want to accomplish a day. And when they wake up in the morning, that's what they do. They write down their 2, 3 goals that they want to accomplish that day. And they focus on that. If they get more done, then yay. But if not, they did what they set out to do. So yeah. So are there any tips that you want to give to people to try to, help them balance, or something that maybe what it looks like when they're unbalanced, or whatever the case may be? Any tips before we move on to the next topic?
I would say always start your day off, like prepare your day, right? And what I mean is, in the morning, don't automatically jump on Facebook or something like that, because it's gonna put that negativity in your mind right away. Try to get something positive, whether it be an audio, meditating, a positive book or something like that to start the day off. And then do some type of physical fitness. And it doesn't have to be a lot, it could be a little bit, I think Grant Cardone say do what, like 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, 10 squats, something like that. But the concept is just to do something physical to get the blood flowing so your brain can function better, and then worry about everything else after that. In the Army, they say we do more before 9 o'clock, before most people do all day, more, something like that. But I get the concept, because you get up, you go get physical fitness, you know what I'm saying? And it's challenging. So mentally it's challenging you, physically it's challenging you, and it's getting your blood flowing, and then you start the day. So that would be my thing. I would say in the morning, put some positivity in your mind, and then do some type of physical fitness, and then start your day off after that. For me, since I don't really have a real job, I just wake up in the morning. I don't really, when it comes to like working out, whenever I'm done, I'm done. I might be in there 2 hours, I might be in there 30 minutes. I don't care. But that's just me. But you don't have to do all of that. But the point is, I make sure I dedicate that time to my physical fitness, and I make sure I dedicate time to my mental. Those 2 things. Before, I don't care who calls me, until I'm done with either my reading, meditating, or something, and then my working out, I'm not doing anything. I don't care. So it might be 11 o'clock in the afternoon before I get started. It is what it is. So take care of you. You got to take care of you, because these other people, they'll run you to the ground. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't take care of you, who's going to do it?
I totally agree with that. Oh my gosh. And I love the flexibility that I have in my job right now. But I will soon be going back to the actual real military here in a few months. Not looking forward to that. But I actually have the flexibility to say, okay, when I get up, I'm going to go work out. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to get my tea and lunch or whatever together before I go to work. And I have the flexibility that I get there, I can get there at 8 if I want to, or I get there at 12 if I want to. As long as I'm getting, the job done, I have that flexibility. And so, don't bother me while I'm getting my life together. So I wanted to go ahead, unless you have something else on the overall health.
No.
Okay, yeah, I don't see any questions. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to lack of self-knowledge. And so I want to talk about this because I constantly hear different words, and I hear them used interchangeably, but they're not interchangeable. Self-confidence, self-esteem, self-awareness, and self-knowledge, I always hear those words, and I always hear them interchangeably, but they are not. They are different aspects of the self. And self-esteem is more of the emotion of how you feel, in that moment. And your self-confidence is more of, who you are and how much you appreciate yourself, like the self-worth and all of that. And self-knowledge is, know who you are, know your gifts, know your talents. And when you don't know that, it affects so many different areas in your life. It affects, your ability to think and be free and go out and live your purpose. It affects your health because you don't feel like you need to do whatever because you've been captive for so long in a box, and you haven't felt or learned the understanding of the benefits of physical health and mental health. And so you don't appreciate it, you don't nurture it, you don't do it because you don't know who you are. And you don't appreciate who you are. So what are your thoughts about that?
So for, let me see, like, so for me, I believe, okay, so I think they're all different, right? They are all different. They're not the same. You know, a lot of people misuse a lot of terms, and I think when it comes to like knowing who you are, I mean, let me put it this way. The best way I like to explain this is with examples. I can explain it better with examples and stories. So for example, my daughter. So what I did with my daughter was I thought about me growing up. So when I grew up, we was poor, Haitian kids. You know what I'm saying? They used to, and in the 90s, they used to really hate on us a lot. So when I thought about my daughter, I said, okay, so how can I make her strong enough to where when she goes to school, nobody's ever going to be able to mess with her. She'll be like, that's all you got for me? Because my daddy is 10 times worse than you guys. You guys aren't even, what are you going to do? And so I used to always mess with her, get on her here and there, mess with her, and I was toughening her up. So now when she goes to school, she don't have any of those problems that I had because I made her proud of who she was. You know what I'm saying? I built her confidence, which ended up giving her a high self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? Those were the steps that I did as I was like building her up. Even to this day, you know what I'm saying? She's Haitian American, but she'll tell you, well, I'm Haitian. That's what she'll tell you. I'm Haitian. Because I gave her like so much of the history, of what happened or leading up to today, that she's so proud of that part of her culture. That's what she identifies with, even though she's still Haitian American. I'm like, come on, man. She's doing too much. But I think she does it just to make her mom mad, honestly. But but the point is, like, I built her up to be what they call autonomous. She does nothing anybody says or does will really affect her. And if it does, it's going to be hard to really do it because she understands who she is. You know what I'm saying? She's fully confident in her skin. She's like, other people's opinion really doesn't matter to her. It's the same thing with my son too. If you see them, they're like little split images of me. But when I was their age, I wasn't like that. I was shy. You know what I'm saying? I was scared, timid, because, like I said, we was Haitian kids in the 90s. They was getting on the African booty scratches, Haitian booty scratches. They was getting on us, you know what I'm saying? Every little thing we do. My dad didn't even speak English that well. They believe they used to get on my dad. What's he talking about, dude? Things like that. But, that's what I grew up with. So I had to figure out how I can take all that negative and flip it and make sure that my kids are prepared for this type of stuff. And I feel like they're prepared right now. But it took time. But you got to understand that all three of those are different, because if you just focus on one, then you're going to lack in another one. You may have a high self-esteem, you may think highly of yourself, but then your confidence is low. You may, you may not know who you are. You know what I'm saying? You may be like, if you don't know if you don't know who you are, like, people are going to tell you who you are. It's just like a job. If you don't know your worth, somebody's going to tell you your worth. If you don't know who you are, people are going to tell you who you are, but is that really you? So until you really sit down and think and focus and really learn about you, it's just, you're just going to fall for everything, Even my therapist tell me this all the time, you got to know who you are, figure out who you are. then you can get in touch with all the other stuff going on around you and understand it more. But before you can do that, you got to know who you are. So even me, I'm still working on it, So
No,
yeah.
so I totally agree. And I think that is a part of the problem. Although you're still working on it, you were able to identify that problem, and you was able to say, hey, this is what I dealt with, and this is what I'm still dealing with, and I'm going to prevent my kids from dealing with it. So I'm going to teach them about their history. I'm going to teach them, who they are as far as their heritage and their culture. But a lot of parents still don't know who they are, especially Americans, because a lot of, as you know, throughout our history, it has been stripped. And so some people don't know past their grandmother or great grandparents. And so it's hard to even know your culture. And then even outside of knowing your culture, just knowing who you are and your likes and dislikes, because like you said, some people will just tell you who you are. And I was in that situation for years because I wanted to be loved. I wanted to have this, beautiful family, white picket fence, whatever, whatever. And so whoever I was dating at the time, if they like football, then I like football. If they like wrestling, then that's what we're watching. We're wrestling fans, because I didn't take the time to figure out who I was, what I want, what I like, what I dislike, what I'm willing to tolerate, what I'm not willing to tolerate, where am I trying to go? What is my purpose? I didn't take the time to figure that out. So other people told me, and I fed into that, and that caused me years of distress. And like you said, if you don't know who you are, that leads to depression, low self-esteem, and in some cases suicide and other things. It leaves you vulnerable to be bullied, and put in restraints or restrictions or oppressed and repressed or whatever the case may be, when you are not strong enough to know who you are and have that self-confidence in who you are. So I want to applaud you for that. Like, that's cool that you're teaching your kids that. So to parents who don't know their culture or know whatever, and they're still trying to figure out who they are, how can they help their kids figure it out?
Self-education. It's gonna come down to self-education. You're gonna have to really, first you gotta be proud. You gotta be proud of your skin. You know what I'm saying? Because the school system, unfortunately, taught many of us just one aspect. You know what I'm saying? They call it American history. As American history, we came here as slaves. It's not that the teacher said anything wrong. It's the truth. We came here as slaves. So when we look at our American history, that's what we're taught. But if that's all you're gonna teach us, how can we be proud? Are we proud that we were slaves? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta go back past that. Okay, well, what about these people before they came here? What were they? And then you gotta really start learning that, so to build and instill that pride in you. Like, you'll see people that are proud of being Vikings, Scandinavian, oh, we're Vikings and Thor and Odin and all of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's what they was taught. They don't teach them that, hey man, a lot of these people were slaves. These people got enslaved too. They were slaves like everybody else on this planet. You know what I'm saying? They don't teach that part of it. And then, so the first, I would just say, you gotta don't try to be something that you're not. It's okay to be who you are, and stop worrying about other people judging you, because that's going to stop you from actually learning who you are, because you're still so worried about what other people think about you. You're trying to be like them. For example, I'll give you another story. I'm gonna use my own family as this. I don't care if he's watching it anyways. Can't be. Anyways, my cousin, right? The problem with my cousin is, so we grew up together. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the poor part. He grew up in the suburban part. I used to always go to his house to escape my house. But as we got older, you know what I'm saying, I started messing with gangs and stuff like that. That's the road it took me down. You know what I'm saying? And he done went to college and all of this stuff. It's complete opposites, right? Into our adulthood, he started trying to be me and live my life. You know what I'm saying? So he wants to be, I'm so bad, and I'm gangster this and this, that, and the third and all of that. And I'm just like, why? Why would you want to live that life? It's not worth it. But it's not just him. You got rappers, for example. They wait until they're an adult, millionaires, and then they want to start joining gangs and stuff like that. Why would you want to live that life? Because you're trying to be something that you're not. You was never this. You was never built like that. You didn't have to live that life. So why you want to start when you're millionaires and you got protection that you could hire? Because they're trying to be something that they're not. So what ended up happening with my cousin is, and he don't see it, but I see what's going on. He drinks a lot. Now he drinks. He's constantly drinking and drinking and drinking because he's never really sitting back and just being him. The stress of trying to be other people is coming down on him, and he tries to drink it away. You know what I'm saying? And that's a problem right there. That's depression. He forced himself into depression by trying to be something that he's not. And while he's trying to live the life that I used to live, I'm trying to live how I'm trying to be in the suburbans and live cool and not do none of this, not deal with any of that stuff because I know what it's like. You know, so he don't know what it's like. So now he sees it and he wants to live this life. I don't know why. I don't understand. But but if he would just be him, he would have so less problems, so much less stress. You know what I'm saying? Because it's stressful trying to be something that you're not. You know, so he got to sit back and really do a self-evaluation and understand who he really is. And just be okay with that. So, who cares if these people out here trying to be Mr. Thugging this and thugging that? Who cares? You don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Once he realizes he don't have to do that and stop worrying about what other people think about him, then he could just be him. You know what I'm saying? My boys call me, oh, you a geek or you a nerd. I don't care. I sit here all day on my computer. I'll turn on my PlayStation. I don't care. You know, oh, you always reading books. That's nerds people. Well, I'm going to be a nerd today. I'm going to keep reading. You know, so and these are things like, you know what I'm saying? But I had to get to a point to where I stopped caring about what other people think. You know, back in the day, all you had to do was call me out my name, and I'm gonna punch you in your mouth, right then and there. Call me, I'm gonna bow. Now you got to show me. You know. Now I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And I hurt my feelings. You know, and that's what people got to understand. And as a parent, you got to understand that too, because a lot of these parents are trying to keep up with the Joneses and trying to be something that they're not. You know what I'm saying? The kids, and by them doing that, the kids are watching them, and they see that. And they're going to pick up on that. And then as they grow older, they're going to have the same problems and repeat the cycle over and over and over again. So you got to break that cycle. You know, I got to break the cycle.
No, and you're absolutely right. So I know a young man, came from a middle-class family. Father is an entrepreneur, you know, created this business in order to pass on to his son. You know, mother, bachelor's degree, working for the hospital, you know, decent middle-class family. But because of, you know, rap music and the thug lifestyle, he's like, oh, I need to be able to start from the bottom so I can, you know, say that I went from here. It's like, no, you don't. You know, start where you at and then go up. Like, why would you go backwards to try to come up? Because you're going to get stuck because your mindset is crap right now. And so I totally get what you're saying. And I believe once he takes the time to get to know who he is and appreciate the things that he has, like we said earlier, appreciate what you have. You know, don't worry about what you lack. Appreciate what you have and go forth and be great. Learn who you are and go forth and be great. I was reading a book. I'm trying to remember the name of that book. I don't remember, but there's two versions. There's a regular version and then there's the Black people version. And you might know it once I start talking about it. But anyway, they was talking about how... You
talking about Think and Grow Rich?
That is it. Yes. Think and Grow Rich, the Black choice. So I was reading that one and they were saying how oftentimes we can't even imagine things, and that a lot of times that's what hinder us. Like you said earlier, if we can think it, then we can go do it and we can make it appear. But when our minds are locked down and we can't even imagine greatness, we can't even imagine, we're poor or whatever, and we can't even imagine becoming doctors, and we already limit ourselves in our minds, then what do you expect? You're not going to do it because you can't even imagine it. And so once you begin to understand who you are and release your mind and release yourself to be open to greatness, you can achieve and do whatever it is that you want to do, free of judgment. Like you were saying earlier, so many people are afraid to be themselves because they're afraid people are going to judge them and what people are going to say and this and that. And that's just like me. I dealt with it a lot, and I had to grow through it. Even now, because women's hair is such a topic, because we are such a sex symbol. Excuse me, we are such a sex symbol, and we have to have, our face bead and eyelashes and nails done and our hair laid, can't have any, frizzies or whatever the case may be. But I'm like, I'm comfortable in my skin, and I want my female listeners to be able to be comfortable in their skin. If their hair is frizzy, I don't want you to not, go on a live. I don't want you to not go do something because your hair texture is different from somebody else's. It doesn't lay as, other people's lay. It doesn't slick down that well, or it's short and you can't style it, a certain way. No, don't let the little things hinder you from being great. You can do whatever you want to do. Don't let people's judgments hinder you from doing the things that you want to do, that you can do. But it first takes the step of knowing who you are and being confident in who you are. What are your thoughts on that?
All right. So a couple of things. When you was talking about what was it? You said you got a guy, you want to start from the bottom and do all this thugging and stuff like that. Look, man, hopefully he understands it's not necessary, because you run into somebody like me, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to business and stuff like that, I'm cool. But when it comes to the thugging stuff like that, I'm a different person. And you just don't want to do it. You don't want to do it because you know not what you're getting yourself into, Like when people come, when I was young and they used to come to me for that, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put your life on the line where we both might die today. Yeah, it's a possibility we may not make it out of and I'm going to see what you're going to do and how you're going to react under the pressure of we're going to die today. Like, no, there's nobody to call. There's no backup. There's no police is coming to save you. We're going to die today. And I'm going to put you in that type of position. And I've done it before. I've done it several times. I've seen a lot of people fold and crumble under that type of pressure. Mm-hmm. So you just don't want to do it. If you don't have to live that life, you don't have to, just don't do it. And there's normally people from the suburbs that want to try to do that. I listened to Nipsey Hussle earlier. He was talking about 6ix9ine and on the song. He was like, "How you acting like you're surprised that he told?" When you don't come from that lifestyle, of course, what do you think is going to happen when the pressure comes, So, and that's something people got to think about. Like, that lifestyle is death, period. You got to be willing to die. And if you're not willing to die, then why do it? Are you ready to die today? You're going to die before you become famous. You know what I'm saying? It might be the person next to you that killed you. You know what I mean? It might be me. I might be the one you talk to, and I might be the one to do it. That's just how it is in that life. It's how it is. That's how it is. I've seen it with my eyes. I've seen people get set up. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it happen. So by his own homies. They almost killed my homie one time, and they got the word from one of my homies, gave him the word to do it. So it's like, I've seen it. So that's the first thing. They gotta understand, if you're not willing to die, don't do it. And then as far as like caring what other people have to say, who cares? Like, who cares what they Are they paying your bills? No. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are they doing to contribute to your life to where their opinion even matters? You know, if you go on my Facebook, you'll see I be going back and forth with people all the time. I don't really care. They care more about it than me. You know, half the time I have to go and Google it just so I have something to say to them because I don't even care. I don't even know what's going on. You know, I don't even know. You know, and the point is like when they come on my page with their opinions, I don't care. I don't even care. I got several other pages where I can. Stay here, Brad. Oh yeah. I got several other pages where I talk business and I don't entertain this type of craziness. You know, I got plenty of other Facebook pages. Some for fitness, some for entrepreneurship, some for just overall health. Because I don't really care what people have to say about me. You know, when I did network marketing, okay, I'm gonna tell. And if he sees this, he gonna know who I'm talking about. When I was doing network marketing, our security company had we lost that $20,000 over that year. From the security company, we didn't make any money. So I went into network marketing and started doing network marketing. So I went to all my boys and tried to get people to sign up. One of them signed up. One of them hit me with this line right here, and I'm never gonna forget this line. He said, "When you have $500,000 in your bank account, when you're driving a Mercedes Benz, and you own your own home, then I'm gonna stop everything I'm doing and I'm gonna follow you." I'm thinking, man, this is my own homie. You gonna hit me with that? I'm like, okay, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. So I went, started stacking up my money. I went bought my own home, paid off my car. You know what I'm saying? A few years later after that, he's asking me, "Hey man, can you help me out? Because I'm trying to do this right here." Oh, now you need my help. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't care. If I let what he said to me right then and there stop me and deter me, then I would have never been able to be in a position to even help him later on down the line. You know what I'm saying? Of course I'm gonna help him because it's my boy, you know what I'm saying? He's just talking because we just lost all this money. But the point is, it was my own homie. And your family members and stuff is gonna be those people that's gonna be like, look, they see what you're doing, but like, you ain't doing anything yet, so they're not even gonna help you out in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So you're just gonna have to do it anyways. You're gonna have to stop caring what people have to say about you and just do you. You know, just do you. I got a saying. Anybody that does business with me, they'll know. When I'm on Facebook, I put my stuff out to everybody on Facebook first. I don't care whether they purchase or they don't purchase. If you don't, I don't care. I don't care because my goal is to give you the opportunity to get it first. Because after that, I'm gonna go find all new people. You know what I'm saying? I don't care whether you buy it or not. Like, and some people act like they're gonna, and this is something else that's gonna deter you. When people do things, they're gonna act like they did you a favor. But it's an even exchange. You know what I'm saying? You're giving them a product or service, and they're exchanging money. It's fair exchange across the board. So you can't let them, you know what I'm saying? Don't, even if you think they're gonna talk crazy, don't let them deter you. Still sell it to them anyways. Who cares what they got to say after that? Who cares? You know, if you want to give them some constructive criticism, I will take it into consideration. But other than that, who cares? Who cares? When you're comfortable with you, you don't care what anybody has to say about you. Like, who cares? Do you think Donald Trump care what they say about him? Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He said what he want to say. He do what he want to do. You think he care? He don't care about nothing. Like, he don't care. When Obama was about to leave office and he gave his little speech, he tossed them papers and dropping mics and walking off stage. You think he cared? You know, when he came out with his little brown suit on, and they're like, "Why would you wear a brown suit?" You think he cared? He didn't care. You know what I'm saying? They don't care. And that's the thing. When you're trying to become successful, you got to stop focusing on what people have to say about you. Because really their opinions don't really matter. There's millions and billions of people out there. Go find some new people. Oh, these people don't support you? Oh, who cares? Go find some new ones. It's that simple. So when you stop caring about what people think about you, you'll see like, you'll start better understanding yourself, like who you really are, because you're not worried about them outside influences changing who you are. You know, last example on this one. People watch football. People love football. All my boys play football. They got pages, football. They add me to these pages, but I don't watch football. And I don't really care for football. And I'm not going to talk about football because I don't care for it. I was watching basketball. My team sucks. So I don't even watch basketball no more. You can't convince me. I don't know what's going on in basketball. I don't know who's on the team right now. I don't know what's going on in football. I don't know. All my boys may know all of that. They know stats and everything. They got into a science. But me, I don't care. But you can add me to the groups all you want. I'm still not going to participate because that's not me. That's just not me. You see? So, and you got to get to that point right there. You know, when you get to that, your kids will see it. You'll see the kids will start shifting in their attitude. Anybody, you see my kids, you're gonna be like, oh man, these kids are they're crazy. They're so confident. Like we walk around like we're celebrities. And everybody in this family walk around like a celebrity. We don't get starstruck. We feel like we're celebrities too. You should be equally as happy to meet us as we are to meet you. It's that simple, and that's how we carry ourselves. You know, that's from the littlest kid to the oldest adult. All of us, that's how we act. That's what we were taught. You know, so yeah. So that's what I got on that.
No, I absolutely love it. And I wanted to add to that is the things that we focus on, and that's what's priority to us. But if we don't know who we are, we're just focusing on whatever's in front of us. And for some people, it's the money, it's the bills, and then like we said previously, that's how we get unbalanced because we don't know ourselves and we're focused on what's in front of us instead of the things that we find that's important because we don't know who we are, we don't know what's important to us, and that throws off relationships, that throws off your money, that throws off your purpose because now you're going left when you're supposed to be going right. You were put on this earth to do something, but because you haven't figured out who you are and what you're really good at and why you're doing it, and now you're, working at Burger King when you're supposed to be, in the political realm, or you're supposed to be creating houses or doing electronics or the next big invention because you did not take the time to figure out who you are and figure out your purpose. And so now the world is a less better place because you did not take the time to know who you were. We missed out on the greatness that you have to offer us. And that in itself should alert people to say, hey, we need you. We need you to take the time to figure out who you are. We don't need more robots. We don't need people, still around here sleepwalking. We need you to wake up and contribute to the community, contribute to the world, contribute to your family. We all need you. Like, we're counting on you. So how do you awaken these people that sleep? Like, what do you say? How do you get them? Because and I said this the other day. We was talking about something. Oh, so Beyonce, Black is King came out. And they're like, oh, because Beyonce is doing this, now everybody want to be all black and in the culture. I was like, don't put that on Beyonce because that was comparing her to Erykah Badu. They was like, Erykah Badu been doing this. Yeah, but folks been telling y'all to read at least since I've been on this earth, and half y'all still not reading. So it's not necessarily the message or where it's coming from, as long as the message is being put out. If they receive it from whoever, as long as they receive the message, it should not matter. As long as they're being awakened and taking the time to learn who they are and walking in their purpose, I don't care if it came from the homeless man off the street. As long as they getting the message and they getting awakened, whatever the word is. So how do you, what tips do you have to tell the people to help them awaken or help them learn who they are or whatever the case may be?
All right. So there's a saying, right? The richest place in the world is the cemetery. Because a lot of people they don't figure out who they are and put the information out there, and then they just die with it. They die with all of this information, all these inventions that could have been created, this, that, there. That's why it's like, it bothers me when you see like when the kids being killed at an early age and stuff like that, because they have so much that they may have contributed later on in life. They have so much more living to do to figure out who they are and what they have to contribute, and you just wipe them off the planet. You know what I'm saying? Before they can contribute to the greatness. Then as far as like Beyonce putting it out, Erykah Badu putting it out, it doesn't matter who puts it out, because there's gonna be fans that listen to Beyonce that they ain't never listened to Erykah Badu. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be people that Beyonce know that Erykah Badu don't know. So the more people putting it out there, the better. You know what I'm saying? And then it's gonna show, and then there's gonna be people that may even seen Erykah Badu do it, but they don't follow her. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what's Beyonce doing? Oh, she's doing this. Okay, well, I want to do this too now. You know what I'm saying? So, so because somebody else is doing it doesn't mean you can't do it. Like another industry term, they be like the market is saturated for this, that, and the third. Well, that's not true because you don't know the same people. How can it be 100% saturated if you don't know the same people? Like I don't know who Grant Cardone know. Sure, like Grant Cardone don't know who I know. You know what I'm saying? So there's some people that never heard of him. There's some people that never heard of me. So when they be like the market is saturated, I don't even believe that's true because you don't know the same people. You don't know the same audience. The way your presentation is may be different than someone else's, and somebody will receive your message differently. They might get it when you say it, and they might not get it when the other person said it. 50 Cent was talking about that in the book. He was talking about they write a lot of books, but it's not written in the words that we understand where we're from. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, they just look at it and they just push it to the side because it's not written in the language that they understand. So it's like, just put the information out there, and then my message would be like, I have the same problem all the time. So like I did a podcast, a blog, and a vlog. I do it all. And the reason why I do it is because that's like my way of giving back, right? I figure if I put the information out there and I tell people about it, I'm doing my part and giving back. I'm giving you the information for free, right? Whether you take it or you don't take it doesn't even matter to me. Somebody else is going to put it out and you may receive it differently. For example, I posted on my page about the guy was breaking down The Matrix and how The Matrix is a great movie. I done broke this thing down since like 2012, 2013. I broke this movie down so the way people can understand it. A lot of people, they ain't want to listen to me. He puts it out and the video starts going viral. Now more people are listening. It's the same message, but his presentation was just different than mine and they received it differently. See what I'm saying? So it's like, you just got to keep putting it out and keep putting it out. And if you got something that can contribute to the growth of people and can help people, put it out. Just put it out. Don't be scared to put your information out. Stop caring what people think and just put it out. When I first started, they hated on me. They was talking crazy. Like people was blocking me and talking all types of crazy. One chick said, if you got all this money, you wouldn't be talking about money. And I'm thinking that doesn't even make sense. I'm not going to say her name because you know her too. She's you know her. I'm not going to say her, but it's on my Facebook. She blocked me. She's like, if you was making all this money, you wouldn't be talking about money. But I'm thinking that's stupid. Why wouldn't, if I'm making it, why wouldn't I want to tell everybody else how I just did it? So we all can make it. You know what I said? She was like, people that make money don't put that information out there. Like, well, that's crazy. Why not? Why wouldn't you? Why would I want to hoard it and then just watch everybody else suffer around me? That's crazy to me. So, you got to stop caring about what these people are going to say because they're not putting in as much time, as much effort, and actually learning what you're learning. They don't have your insight on the subject. They're going to have their own perspective and insight on the subject. So just forget about what they got to say. Just act like it's an empty room and you just put your information out there anyways. If people respond, they respond. If they don't respond, they don't respond. If you're worried about what they're thinking about, what they used to say, imagine a room being naked. I just imagine a room being empty. It's just me in the room. It's just me. And I'm going to say whatever I want to say. You take it or leave it, I hope you got get something good out of this. If not, I don't know what to tell you.
That's what's up. I'm gonna see if the audience has any questions. If y'all have any questions, go ahead and hit me up in the comments. But I wanted to totally agree with you because everybody is unique. So there's probably like a million trillion life coaches out there, but nobody life coaches like me. Nobody has studied what I studied. Nobody has my personality. Nobody has my purpose and went through whatever trials and tribulations I had to go through to get here. And nobody's going to deliver it the way I deliver it, So, I could be standing on the stage next to another life coach. So I I bring my own uniqueness to the table, and I can't let anybody else, dictate how I operate. But at the end of the day, it comes back from knowing who you are and knowing why you're going through stuff and knowing why you're doing stuff. But you have to take that time to relax and meditate and pray and really figure out who you are and your likes and dislikes and your characteristics. And some people out here with these little raunchy attitudes and won't change. They just like, oh, you got to accept me for who I am. Like, we can, but you could change if you wanted to. You don't have to be that mean, rude person. You don't have to be that person because you don't want to deal with the hurt and the pain from your childhood or your life or whatever it is that you went through. Now you're going to try to put that on us. So take the time to heal from your childhood. Take that time to heal from your relationships. Take that time to know who you are. And I was listening to this one chick named Crystal. She's an herbalist, and she was saying, even for females, we out here sleeping with guys, back to back to back to back, but we haven't given ourselves, time to get that man's DNA out of our system. So when we have sex, y'all are putting DNA into the woman's, uterus or whatever. Y'all are putting it in there. And then when you're having sex with multiple men, and now you have, multiple DNAs in there, and you're not giving yourself time to cleanse. And that's the same thing for your mental. Like, we're getting in relationship after relationship after relationship, and we haven't even given ourselves time to decompress, to take the time to know who we are after this relationship, because we have compromised ourselves so much within a relationship that sometimes we're not the same person we were beforehand, and we need to go back and figure out, okay, who am I now? Who am I away from this person? Who am I today on this day and going forward? And it's something that needs to be done, not just one time. And I've said this plenty of times, and I cringe when I hear it. It'd be like, yeah, I know who I am, and I'll figure that out at 32. Yeah, but we're always evolving, so it's not a one-time process. It's something that you have to constantly do because we're always evolving, we're always changing, and some things do remain the same throughout your lifetime, because you can remember some of the characteristics that you had when you were a child. You still have those, but when you learn life's lessons, those things may begin to change you. Like, for instance, like, I love basketball growing up, but now not so much. It's just not my thing. I used to play basketball all the time, and now I rarely play it. And so we change and we evolve over time. So you have to take that time to get to know who you are and your likes and your dislikes. So I challenge everybody to take the time to meditate and learn who you are. Get some books and self-help. Get you a life coach. Get you a nutritionist, because your overall health affects who you are. It affects how you feel about yourself. You need help? Talk to your boy Alex. You need a life coach? I'm here. You can always email me, pgibbsles. You can DM me, or you can hit me up in my email at info@pgibbsles. What are your thoughts, Alex?
See, all right, so for me, I relate a lot to like the kids, the poverty. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't like. I relate to them the most because I understand like what you go through, living in the homeless shelters, living in the foster homes, things like that. I understand, so I can relate to them. Even the gangbangers, I can relate to them because I understand how they think. You know what I'm saying? But eventually you're gonna have to get to the point where you got to put that stuff behind you and actually start learning new information, start reprogramming, like the Matrix. You got to reprogram your mind. When they took Neo out of the Matrix, they plugged him up to the computer and started reprogramming his mind. And that's just how we are too. We got to like let that stuff go, put it behind you, and then start reprogramming your mind. I think from the time I didn't start reading books until I was 27. You know what I'm saying? From the time I was born to 27, I might have read maybe 2-3 books max.
You started before me. I just started at 35.
But at 27, if you look at my library now of books, I've read like, I don't know, at least a good 100 books, because I'm constantly reading because I understand I got to reprogram my mind, but not only do I got to reprogram, I got to do it fast because I'm already behind, because a lot of these people, they already started in their teens and early 20s. So now I'm like, man, I'm already behind the curve. If I'm going to do big things, I have to start reprogramming now. When I went to USA, I shouldn't even give them a shout out. But anyways, I went to USA and I went to they had like the little financial guy there and I wanted to invest in stocks. So I go to him, I said, okay, look, I want to invest in some stocks. I want to open up an IRA, whatever. So I go to invest in the stocks, and the dude's going to tell me, he said, what are you trying to do? I said, well, I need this long term, and I'm trying to make millions of dollars off of this. He's going to tell me, it's too late for you to start trying to make millions of dollars. Nah, this time I'm like, what, 24, 25? He said, you were supposed to do this when you was like around 19, 20 is when you were supposed to start. It's too late for you to start trying to make millions now. I'm like, what?
Wow.
I'm like, that's what he going to tell me. So afterwards, I freaking, once I start reading more books and start really learning and stuff, I said, this is dumb. I said, this guy don't know what he's talking about. I said, most of these books will tell you for men, we don't even start maturing until about 40 going on 50. That's when we start making our money. Right. We start figuring out things around 40, 50. So I'm thinking, I'm still in my 20s. What is he talking about? You know what I'm saying? But that's because I didn't reprogram. I didn't understand. And if you don't know, then you let somebody else tell you it, they're going to tell you what they want to tell you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're not trying to make me rich. They're trying to make themselves rich. Mm-hmm. They don't want to see me make it come up. They want to make it come up. So you have to actually learn it and reprogram your mind. So that's why I started reading books. After that, I started reading books and reading. I'm always reading a book, and I'm trying to crash course these books and learn them as fast as I can. So I don't listen to them. I'd like to get them on audio because I can drive and listen. But I listen to each book at minimum somewhere between 5 to 10 times at minimum, because I want to actually get the information and catch the stuff that I missed, because it's a crash course. We're already behind. We got to learn this as fast as we can, and we got to apply it. And then once we apply it, we got to take what works and what doesn't work. If it don't work, push it to the side, because we don't have time to keep playing around with what doesn't work. Push that to the side and keep pushing with the stuff that works. Go get another book. Find out what works. What can you add on to it? And we got to keep going and going and going nonstop, because, like I said, Black people we're already behind the curve, because, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of messed up, because I was watching the show and I'm like, I get it. I mean, think about it. If you said we can't even eat in your store, you ain't definitely not letting us start our own store. We can't eat in your store. We can't start our own store. So y'all been making money all this time. Y'all had this big head start. Now we're just now, and this was just in the 60s. That is not that far. That's not that far ago, long ago, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So we're so far behind. We have to crash course everything, and we got to apply it as fast as we can, because the information, as soon as we catch on, they change the game. Right. So we got to catch on, do what we can do. As soon as the game changes, we got to be on it. And the only way to be on it is we got to stay alert and read and pay attention to what's really going on around us. Not all this what's going on in the news, because, their job is to keep us distracted. If they don't report the news, they report their version of the story. Mm-hmm. So, that's what they do. I think what's the quote? If it bleeds, it leads. So we got to crash course all our information and get it as soon as possible. I mean, if you need a list of books, you can just inbox me. I got plenty of books. I got plenty. I know where to start, which one's the best to start with, depending on what you're trying to do. And that's all we can do. Just crash course, learn it, apply it, but don't work, push aside, get a new book. Try to keep going until we get a system in place. Stop being scared to buy other people's courses. Oh, that's too much money. What you mean that's too much money? There's no such thing as too much money, because you're worried about how much you're about to spend versus how much you're about to make. And then you're gonna be like, well, what if I don't make any money? So what? You tried. You either gonna go down swinging, or you're just gonna go down. Either way, you ain't winning. You know what I'm saying? So buy the courses and start learning stuff. Now I got $5,000 courses. I got $10,000 course. I got a $20,000 course. You know what I'm saying? Like I spend the money. I spend the money to learn, and that's what you're gonna have to do. You know, stop like you have to. Like if you really want to come out of whatever situation you're in, that's a part of it. Your mental is the key right there. That's the major part of it is how you think. You know, can you even see opportunities when they present themselves? I lost so much money on Bitcoin because people told me to buy it. I didn't understand Bitcoin. I didn't buy it. It was like 71 cents. You know what I'm saying? It went all the way up to 20-something thousand dollars. And I'm sitting here like, nah, I guess I should have bought that, huh? You know what I'm saying? Gold right now is like $2,000. Like one of those bars like worth $2,000. They told me to buy that a long time ago too. I didn't buy it. You know, I've lost so much money because I didn't understand and I didn't want to educate myself on it. So I've lost money. If I'd have just paid somebody to teach me the information, I'd have made come on. And it's the same thing for you. You know, so start learning more, man. You don't like to read, get it on audio. You don't like the audio, you got YouTube it. Somebody gonna teach you something. People are fixing cars and all types of stuff from YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So somebody on YouTube is going. Another website you can go to, Udemy. Udemy, you can buy little cheap courses and stuff like that. I mean, they're not really cheap because you're going to get some great information, but they don't cost you that much. You get them $10, $20, $30. You know what I'm saying? And you get some good information. I go on Udemy all the time and buy something new. You know, every month I buy a new book. Even if I don't read it right then and there, I still add it to my library and it's next on my list. You know, so it's like, you know, spend the money.
No, I totally agree. And that takes me back to one of the topics that I had previously on Tea Time with P, that we got to invest in ourselves. We have to be willing to pay the money and stop saying, like you said, oh, I don't want to spend that much money. But you invest in yourself, you know, because you're going to spend that much money on something. You're going to spend it on a car. You're going to spend it on a house. You're going to spend it on food. You're going to spend it on something. Why not spend it on yourself and advancing yourself, and so that you can make more money, so that you can set your family up for greatness? Invest in yourself. And I cannot read my handwriting. Oh, this goes back to also what I was talking about Thursday, and that we need to be able to have a safe place to relax and be able to be free. And in those places, that's where people can have these type conversations. You know, you can get in the room with people that look like you, you know, that are able to teach you. Like, I hit you up all the time, you know, educate me. What information you got for me today? Or I hit up other people that I know that have certain information. Yes, I read and I listen to what, you know, other people have to say, because I don't know it all. Alex doesn't know it all. Sable doesn't know it all. No one person knows everything, but once we learn how to start coming together and being able to have those conversations, oh, this is what I learned. This is what I know, you know. Oh, did you pay attention that they just changed this, XYZ? But we have not gotten together to have those groups that we can learn and teach each other. And so that's another issue that is causing us not to grow and prosper. So I challenge you to start creating those groups. I challenge you to take the time to get to know who you are. I challenge you to invest in yourself, and don't be scared to, like Alex said, I've invested in a $5,000 course myself. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself, especially when you know it's going to send you to a level that you're trying to get to. What's the saying? Scared money don't make money. Like, if you scared to spend that money on yourself, on your knowledge, on your education. In fact, y'all out here trying to get bachelor's degrees and doctoral degrees and whatever other degrees. You spending more money doing that than getting this course that has packaged. Somebody else already went and did the training, you know, and now they package it up to give to you. And it's probably more beneficial than out here getting this other degree, because it's more based on experience mixed with a little bit of book knowledge. They already figured out what doesn't work. And so they're trying to give you the information that does work. Like, this is what I know worked. This is what I did. Here you go. I already went through the fire. Here you go. I don't understand.
So
Go
like,
ahead.
so like the what's it called? So college, for example, I went to college. You know, I failed. I failed the very first class. It was the introduction to how to do the class online. I failed. I failed the introduction to how to do the class online. This is a true story. Right? I failed the class. It's the truth, Rick.
Wow.
Because the reason why I failed is because of this. I'm big on specialized knowledge. I don't like general information. I don't like general knowledge. So when I want to learn something specific, that's what I want to learn. All the other extra stuff and all of these prerequisites, I don't care about none of that. I didn't come here for that. I don't care about that. Look, teach me what I love. I want to learn law, teach me law. Don't have me doing math. Don't have me over here doing any of this other extra stuff. I want to learn law, period. You know, so that's why I felt the interest. It was like, you got to just an introduction. I'm like, why? Why do I need to do this? Give me a basic rundown of how to use this system, and I'm done. Don't have me write no paper on the introduction to this. I'm not trying to talk to all these other people. I don't care about none of that. I don't care. So then I failed. I got on there and I'm like, this is just dumb to me. I'm not going to do this. You know, so that's why when I started actually reading books, I specialize in specific things. If I want to learn something, I want to buy all the courses I can on that specific subject. I'm going to find all the books I can on that specific subject, audios, all the stuff on that subject, and I'm going to master this subject. I don't care about none of this other extra stuff. I don't care. So if you failed and you feel like me and you don't want to learn all this extra stuff, just go on ahead. It's okay. You can make money without it. Trust me. Trust me. And like she said, it's cheaper because a lot of these people, they get into all these student loans and all this debt, and then to hold you back and later on when you're trying to like buy a house or try to get some, because they're gonna look at like, oh, you got all these student loans. Now it's a new headache that you just created. You know what I'm saying? When you could have just specialized in a specific thing, this is my thing. I would say go to college if what you want to do requires that you have the degree.
Right.
If it doesn't require that you have the degree, you can go to a trade school and get specialized knowledge on that trade. Or you can just become an entrepreneur and learn that trade and go that route. So there's more options out there. It's not like back in the day where you have to get a college degree to get hired for this, that, and the third. So I would say if what you're trying to do requires a degree, get the degree because it requires it. But if you don't have to, then what are you trying to do? Figure out what you want to do and then figure out how you can accomplish that goal. You know, don't get boxed into one way is always the right way because there's options out there for everything. Now, I don't have anything against college. It's just I don't like learning extra information. It wasn't for me. Some people don't mind. It's for them. But for me, I'm not going to do it. They couldn't pay me right now. I still ain't use my GI Bill. I've been out the Army. I ain't use it. You know, they give you that money when you go to school. They give you the money to go to school. I'm like, no, I refuse. I don't have time. I'm trying to learn this over here. You know what I'm saying? I was broke. When I was broke, I went there, I filled out the application, everything. When I was broke, I was like, you know, I guess I'm going to get this money, huh? But I was like, no, you're not. No, you go ahead and go bunker down and learn your trade and figure out how you're going to do this. But yeah, they ain't even paid me to go to school. I ain't gonna do it. They keep their money. I'm cool.
They can't even pay me to go to school, but I get it, and that is definitely the stigma that's out there. And my husband's gonna kill me, but I'm gonna go ahead and put our business out there. But I'm trying to start another business with him. But he was like, "Yo, babe, how am I gonna start this business without a degree? Like, you need a degree for somebody to work for somebody else, you know, or unless you're doing a specialized something like counseling where you actually, or law where you need a degree in order to operate in that. But if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you don't necessarily need a degree. Like you said, you just need to know the knowledge of that field. You need to get that specialized knowledge. And I tell people all the time, yeah, I'm working on my doctoral, but I don't need it. Like, it's a total waste of money. But because as a kid, I wanted that title, I'm going to go get it. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't need it, don't waste the money. Like, read the books, pay for the courses. Somebody that already went through it and packaged it up nice for you so you don't have to Google and sort through all the other crap. So somebody's packaged the course up and giving you the information. Just go get it. And it's cheaper, less stressful, and you don't get all the extra bull crap. Like, you don't have to take English 1, 2. You don't have to take science and all this extra crap when you're trying to learn, you know, counseling or whatever the case may be. Like, you don't need it. So it still all goes back to knowing who you are, knowing what you want to do, finding that purpose. Take that time to know who you are, know the path that you're going to walk. If you need help, we're here. You know, we got you. Like he said, he has blogs, vlogs, and all type of goodies over there, you know, to help you. Of course, I'm your life coach. Hit me up. I got you. Just like, we're here for you, and we want to see you successful. And in all actuality, everybody on this earth needs you. We need whatever it is that you got. There's a specific audience, there's a specific group of people that need what you have. So do not deprive the world, do not deprive your people, do not deprive your family of the things that you have to offer. Take the time, not only for you, but for those around you and those who you don't even know. We need you. We need your greatness. You are probably the one that's supposed to create this vaccine for COVID. Like, come on, we need y'all. And unless you have anything else, Alex, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Anybody else from the audience? No?
Hold up. No, hold up. I'm prepared this time. I'm on my computer this time. Hold up. Hold on. Yeah, man. Last time, you know, I was driving. I couldn't put my stuff up there, you know what I'm saying? Get my black background on there so people can see it.
Yes, so I was like, I see the blue, but I can't see what it says. There we go.
Now let me put my background. What's going on? Oh, wait. I'm tripping.
I was going to say it was on there. Then you take it off.
Oh, yeah, I'm tripping. Here we go. Put my black background on. So, yeah, I can check us out right here. www.honestgames.pro. Hold on. You can check us out. And then for like my self-help stuff, kind of long. Hold on, let me make it a little bigger. So check me out, www.antipovertymessage.com. Yeah, man. So like this page right here is more self-help, so that anytime I think of something, I put it on here if I feel like it can help people. So it's a lot of entrepreneur stuff on there, some stock stuff on there. It's what else is on there? I put the podcast on there. You know, that's something else too. I'm gonna give y'all a freebie on making money. There's an app called Anchor, right? You could do this too. There's an app called Anchor. And on Anchor, it allows you to upload the Anchor. It's called Anchor.fm or something like that. It allows you to upload the Anchor, and it'll put your podcast on everything like Spotify, Apple, and a bunch of different ones too. It'll put it on everywhere for you. And then they also help you to get sponsors. And they'll find sponsors so you can get paid for that too. Oh. So what you can do is you can take like this right here, download it, and then rip the audio from it and upload it as a podcast. Ah. Yeah, so I just downloaded the audio ripper for my an app on my phone, so I can start ripping them. So when I'm driving, I got something to say, I can just record it, put it out there to people, and then rip the audio and then put it as the podcast too. Ah. So it's called Anchor. If you Google it, you'll see it. You can't miss it. It's purple. So that's for anybody. You can do that. You can get paid to actually just talk. You know what I'm saying? You only have to talk about anything. Somebody gonna like it. Y'all, everybody talking about who? Cardi B and what's the other chick? Megan Thee Stallion right now. Go ahead and do a whole podcast on it. Somebody gonna want to hear what you got to say. I'm not gonna do it, but somebody, you know.
Right, somebody's gonna listen.
But yeah, you go check out my website. I got a lot of information out there, you know, and then I'm gonna keep putting more stuff out there as it comes along. But other than that, yeah, that's about it. That's all I got for y'all.
All right. Thank you for joining. Hope to see you next week on Tea Time with the Family. Thank you, audience, for tuning in. If y'all have any questions, topics, of course, hit us up in the comments or shoot me a DM. Or you can, talk to Alex if you're one of his followers or whatever the case may be. But thank you for joining. We'll talk to y'all later.